Okay, so we all know that feeling, right? You know, escaping on vacation, exploring new places, letting loose. But sometimes that adventure takes a dark turn.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
today we're diving into the darker side of travel with 5 real-life horror stories
Yeah.
from Vile Visions Pod.
Yeah.
We're talking honeymoon horrors in Vegas,
Hmm.
beach stalkers in Hawaii, terrifying encounters in St. Martin, even a cruise ship predator.
Wow.
So get ready because these stories might just make you rethink that do not disturb sign.
It's interesting how travel, meant for escape and relaxation, can also make us so vulnerable. We're outside our routines and unfamiliar places. It's like we're primed for the unexpected and not always in a good way.
Exactly. And these stories aren't about scaring you off travel altogether,
Right.
but more about that awareness thing.
Yeah.
So let's start with this honeymoon horror in Vegas. You've got this newlywed couple
Okay.
excited for their dream honeymoon in a luxury suite.
Hmm.
But instead of champagne and rose petals, they're hit with this horrific stench. It makes you wonder about the psychological impact on the couple.
Mm.
To go from the highest of highs to that discovery,
Yeah.
did their trust in each other in the
Well,
world even get fundamentally shaken?
to go from such a celebratory mood to
Mhm.
such a horrific discovery.
Because get this, the husband calls the front desk, but the hotel's packed due to a convention.
Oh, wow.
The manager offers him a free lunch while the staff cleans, trying to smooth things over.
Right.
But even after cleaning, the smell lingers.
Oh, no.
That's got to be unsettling, right? Like, what could be that bad?
Yeah, from a hospitality standpoint, they're trying to manage a PR nightmare. But for the couple, it's way more than a dirty room. It's like this creeping dread that something is deeply wrong.
And it gets worse. The husband decides to investigate himself.
Yeah.
And under the mattress, well, it's not a lost room service menu.
Oh.
They find a decomposing body. I
Yeah.
mean, talk about a honeymoon buzzkill.
Oh my gosh. That's awful. It turns a symbol of love and celebration into a scene of horror and an unsolved mystery. It leaves us with this unsettling feeling, how could this happen in a seemingly secure environment? And who was responsible?
It really makes you question that illusion of safety even in a fancy hotel. You think you're protected, but this story shows that darkness can seep in anywhere.
It really does. And that unsolved mystery adds another layer of unease. It leaves us with lingering questions and a feeling of vulnerability, knowing that such a horrifying event could occur without a clear explanation. It's like a loose end you can't quite tie up.
Okay, so from the glitz and grime of Vegas, let's head to the beaches of Hawaii.
Okay.
Picture this. You're this wife finally relaxing on your Hawaiian vacation. You're heading out of a beach restroom and suddenly this guy's in your way. It's already unsettling, right?
Yeah.
But what's really creepy is what happens next.
Oh, boy. This is where it gets interesting. This isn't just a random encounter. The same man later appears at their hotel room dressed as a maid. It suggests a deliberate, calculated pattern of stalking, which is chilling, especially considering the idyllic setting.
And that detail about the maid uniform, it's like he's using a symbol of service and trust as a weapon,
Right.
a way to gain access and potentially harm.
It points to the perpetrator's manipulative tactics.
Yeah.
But amidst the horror, this story also shows the wife's incredible resourcefulness.
Yes.
When he lunges at them with a knife, she doesn't freeze.
Wow.
She grabs a lamp and smashes it over his head, giving them time to escape.
Talk about thinking on your feet.
Mm-hmm.
In that terrifying situation, she manages to fight back and potentially save their lives.
Yeah.
It's a powerful reminder that even in paradise, you might need to protect yourself.
Exactly. It highlights the importance of situational awareness and self-defense, even when you're supposed to be relaxing on a beach. You never know when you might need to rely on your instincts and react quickly.
Absolutely.
Speaking of instincts, let's shift gears to a family road trip through Georgia where a seemingly harmless act of kindness leads to a terrifying highway ambush.
Okay, so imagine you're this family driving through Georgia at night on your way to Disney World.
Oh, fun.
The road is deserted, and you see flashing red SOS lights.
Uh-oh.
A car's parked in the middle of the road.
Okay.
2 hooded figures approach, claiming they need help. Would you stop?
That's the dilemma, isn't it? Our instinct to help can be exploited. And on a dark, isolated highway, that danger is magnified tenfold.
It's like a scene from a horror movie playing out in real life.
It is.
Well, the dad in this story senses something's off and throws the car in reverse. But the men give chase, firing gunshots, blowing out their tires.
Oh my gosh.
The family's trapped,
Oh no.
their vehicle rammed repeatedly, It's a nightmare scenario.
That's terrifying. The father's quick thinking probably bought them some time, but the relentless pursuit is chilling. It makes you think about the kind of desperation or malice that would drive someone to that level of violence.
Just when all hope seems lost, police lights appear. The attackers flee, leaving the family shaken but alive.
Wow.
Talk about a close call.
That's a relief.
It is.
It's a stark reminder of the dangers of stopping for strangers in remote areas, especially at night.
Yeah.
Sometimes trusting your gut and prioritizing your safety is the best decision, even if it means seemingly going against your better nature.
And we can't forget the psychological impact on the family, especially the kids. Experiencing something like that, being hunted, can shake your sense of security to the core.
Absolutely. That feeling of vulnerability, the sheer terror, it can leave lasting scars.
Let's take a breath and move on to our next story. This one takes place on the beautiful island of St. Martin, and it's about a couple who stumble upon a scene so violent,
Okay.
it leaves them speechless with trauma. Imagine you're exploring the island, and you spot an abandoned car on a desolate road. Curiosity gets the better of you, and you'd decide to investigate.
Ooh, that seemingly harmless decision is what leads them down a dark path. It shows how quickly an ordinary situation can turn dangerous, especially when venturing off the beaten track. It's like that saying, curiosity killed the cat.
And what they discover is beyond horrifying.
What is it?
Two men armed with knives are standing over a bloodied corpse hidden beneath the car.
Oh my God.
They've walked right into a scene of unimaginable violence. What would you even do in that situation?
It's hard to even comprehend the terror of that moment. Coming face to face with that level of brutality, it challenges your faith in humanity and the safety of the world around you.
The couple flees for their lives, their idyllic vacation shattered. They manage to escape and alert the authorities.
Good.
But the psychological scars run deep. They refuse to even talk about the experience.
That silence speaks volumes, doesn't it? It's like the trauma is so overwhelming, so difficult to process that words fail them. It's a reminder that even when physically unharmed, the psychological wounds of a traumatic experience can be profound.
And it makes you realize that sometimes the most terrifying part isn't the violence itself, but the lasting impact it has on our sense of safety and well-being.
Exactly. It's a stark reminder that evil can lurk in even the most picturesque settings, and that the world isn't always as safe and predictable as we'd like to believe.
Okay, for our last story before we take a break, we're setting sail on a cruise ship, a place usually associated with fun relaxation and family-friendly entertainment. But as this story reveals, even amidst the supposed safety of a cruise, darkness can prey on the vulnerable.
This story is especially unsettling because it involves a breach of trust and safety on a cruise ship, a place often marketed as a secure and controlled environment, especially for families. It's like a violation of a sanctuary.
Right. And it centers around a 16-year-old boy on vacation with his family.
Okay.
He keeps noticing an older man staring at him in the ship's nightclub. At first, it's just an unsettling feeling.
Right.
But the man's presence continues to follow him.
Oh, no.
He sees him at the bar, and then later, well, the nightmare unfolds in the boy's own cabin.
That detail, the intrusion into the boy's personal space, is what makes this so chilling. It shatters the perceived safety of the cruise ship, showing that even seemingly secure spaces can be vulnerable.
One night, the boy wakes up to find the man standing over his bed,
Oh my God.
his hand brushing against his face. It's a horrifying violation, a moment of pure terror. He screams, alerting his brother, and they manage to fight the intruder off.
Oh, good. That moment of fighting back, of resisting the attack, is crucial. It shows that even in the face of overwhelming fear, there's a primal instinct to survive, to protect oneself. But it also makes you wonder about the lasting psychological impact of such an experience.
Security is called, and the man is detained, but the damage is done. This young boy's sense of safety, his innocence, is shattered.
And that's what's so heartbreaking about this story. It highlights the vulnerability of young people, especially in environments where they should feel safe and protected.
It serves as a stark reminder that predators can lurk anywhere, even in places designed for leisure and relaxation.
And it underscores the importance of vigilance, trusting our instincts, and speaking up when we feel threatened, no matter where we are.
Well, those are some intense stories to start us off. We'll take a quick break and then come back to unpack some of the common threads and maybe even some tips on how to stay safe while traveling. Okay, I don't know about you, but after hearing those stories, I'm starting to see a pattern here. It's like no matter where you go on vacation, there's always this element of risk of vulnerability.
Yeah, there really is. It's like these stories highlight this universal truth. Even in paradise, there's a shadow side.
Right.
And it's not about living in fear.
Yeah.
It's about shifting from naive trust to informed awareness.
So instead of being like, oh, this will never happen to me, it's more like, okay, what can I do to minimize the chances? What are some practical tips that, won't turn us into paranoid travelers, but will help us stay safe?
Well, I think research is key before you even pack your bags.
Okay.
Delve into your destination. Understanding the local culture, customs, and potential safety concerns can make a huge difference.
Like, are there certain areas you shouldn't wander into at night? Or common scams to watch out for?
Exactly. Being informed is your first line of defense. And while you're exploring, pay attention to your surroundings.
Yeah.
Don't get so caught up in capturing the perfect Instagram shot that you lose track of where you are and who's around you.
Right. Easy to get distracted by those vacation vibes.
Yeah.
But situational awareness is key, especially in crowded tourist spots or unfamiliar areas. It's like, enjoy the scenery, but keep your head on a swivel.
Precisely. Precisely. And perhaps the most important tip, trust your instincts.
Yeah.
If something feels off, if someone makes you uncomfortable, or if a situation seems too good to be true, it probably is.
Yeah.
Don't hesitate to remove yourself from the situation or seek help.
It's like that internal alarm system going off, and we shouldn't ignore it even if it seems silly. Better safe than sorry a million times over.
Absolutely. And it's always wise to have a plan in case of emergency. Share your itinerary with someone back home, know the location of your country's embassy or consulate, and keep important documents and emergency contacts easily accessible.
Those are all great practical tips. But I'm also thinking about the psychological aspect. Like, how do you even begin to recover from a traumatic experience on vacation?
That's a crucial point. Trauma can manifest in different ways, and seeking professional help is paramount. Talking to a therapist, joining support groups, these can provide essential tools for healing and processing the experience.
Because sometimes just pushing those feelings down doesn't really work, does it? It's like it might bubble up later in unexpected ways.
Exactly. Acknowledging the impact of the trauma, allowing yourself to feel those emotions, and seeking support are crucial steps towards recovery.
So you've heard these stories, and I'm curious what stands out to you the most. Was there a particular detail or a moment that really stuck with you?
For me, it's the recurring theme of vulnerability. It's a reminder that no matter how much we plan or how safe we think we are, there's always an element of risk.
And that risk isn't just about physical harm, right? It's about that potential for psychological trauma, for having your sense of safety and trust shattered.
Exactly. And while we can't control everything, we can empower ourselves with knowledge awareness and a healthy dose of caution.
It's like we're not letting fear dictate our lives
Yeah.
or stop us from traveling, but we're using it as a guide, as information to
Yeah.
make smarter choices.
Yeah.
What about you? Was there anything from these stories that made you think, okay, I'm going to do this differently on my next trip?
Honestly, the story about the couple in St. Martin who stumbled upon the crime scene, it made me realize that even seemingly harmless curiosity can lead you into dangerous situations. I'll definitely be more cautious about venturing off the beaten path, especially alone.
That's a great point. Sometimes our desire for adventure or that Instagrammable moment can cloud our judgment.
Right, and it's a reminder that travel, while exciting, also requires a level of responsibility.
Yeah.
It's about respecting the local culture,
Yeah.
being mindful of our surroundings, and prioritizing our safety.
I think it's also about remembering that we're not invincible. We're all vulnerable in different ways, and acknowledging that vulnerability can actually make us stronger and more resilient.
Absolutely. It's about finding that balance between embracing adventure and being prepared for the unexpected.
Well said. And remember, sharing these stories and these tips with your friends and family is a powerful way to create a safer travel experience for everyone.
Yeah, it's about building a community of informed and empowered travelers, sharing knowledge and experiences to make the world a more enjoyable and secure place to explore.
Okay, as we wrap up this deep dive into vacation horror stories, I want to leave you with one last thought. What's one small step you can take today to make your next vacation memorable for all the right reasons? Maybe it's researching your destination, packing a mini first aid kit, or just sharing your itinerary with a loved one.
Travel is a privilege, a chance to experience new cultures and create lasting memories. Let's not let fear overshadow the joy of discovery.
Instead, let's equip ourselves with knowledge, awareness, and a healthy dose of common sense. And remember, the world is full of wonders waiting to be discovered. So go explore, but do so wisely and with your eyes wide open. And hey, if you have any personal travel safety tips or stories, you'd like to share, we'd love to hear them.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's keep this conversation going, and learn from each other's experiences.
Right. You can find us on all the usual social media platforms. Just search for The Deep Dive.
Yep. And if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and leave us a review. It helps other curious listeners like yourself find the show.
Until next time, happy travels and stay safe out there.